Genesis 3, we're introduced to a talking animal called a serpent. So this thing, representing Satan, had a conversation with Eve, and the serpent asked, has God said you shall not eat of this? And what does Eve say? Eve says, yes, God has said we shall not eat of it, or, anyone know the rest of that? Touch it. Now here's the question. You go back through Genesis 2, and do we find God saying, don't even touch it? He didn't say that. So should the editor have gone, well, actually, God didn't say that, Eve, you're wrong. I'm not going to record that. No, because then that wouldn't be an accurate portrayal of what Eve actually said. So even though what Eve said was wrong, Scripture accurately records it. Now, I'm setting this up so you can understand what we're going to see here. Let's have a look at verse 14. Jeremiah 17, verse 14. You'll instantly recognise that this is a prayer. Heal me, O Lord, and I shall be healed. Save me, and I shall be saved, for you are my praise. That's actually a beautiful prayer. If you listen to someone's praying, it says a lot about them. Do you pray? Do you punctuate your life with prayer? Do you pray bitter prayers? Oh God, you know that even though I tried to do the right thing, it was taken the wrong way by all those people. And God, I know that you aren't a God who smites. And if you do have a spare smite, there are some people I think that could use one right now. You know, do you pray like that? How you pray says a lot about what's really in your heart. And Jeremiah has, I think, honestly revealed something in his heart, but this is not all that's in his heart. We come to the next verse, verse 15. Behold, they say to me, where is the word of the Lord? Let it come. Now, what's going on with this? They say to me, what are you talking about? Where's this word that we're going to be invaded by the Babylonians? The Babylonians are going to come in and take our land. That's absurd, Jeremiah. The Babylonians weren't a world empire. The Babylonians were no threat to anybody, they thought. And I guess the people could have thought, you're against us, Jeremiah. You're always against us. But that wasn't what was in his heart. And Jeremiah's heart was for the good of the people. In fact, of all the people in Israel, Jeremiah was more for the people than anyone else. Let's learn some things here, because what we're about to see, and this is where I want to introduce this word, imprecatory. You probably use this word all the time. If you deal in ancient Hebrew literature, I forgot to say. Imprecatory, it actually comes from a couple of Latin words, and it means to wish vengeance, or shall we say, wish ill upon your foe. You ever felt like that? God, I'm not asking you to take them out quickly. Hang on, someone finished my prayer sentence. Make them suffer. So we have people in this church, as we've just evidenced, who pray imprecatory prayers. And that's what they are. They are prayers that pray for people to feel pain. And we will find these in Scripture. Like, what do the Bible is God's message of love and grace and forgiveness. Oh, really? What do you do with Psalm 137, verse 9? Blessed is the one who takes their little ones and dashes their heads against the rocks. Which part of loving and nice and cuddly do you find that verse to file that away in? What do you do with that? As Jeremiah was prophesying that Babylon would come in and exile people back to Babylon, it was some of those exiles who, in Psalm 137, record what's in their heart. And a part of that is quite a gruesome statement of what they wish God would do, or what the enemies of Babylon would do to the Babylonian children.
It sounds quite grotesque. So here's a couple of questions. Is God himself authorizing this kind of praying? Does God sanction it? And I think the simple answer is clearly not. There was an occasion when the disciples of Jesus came to him and asked, do you want us to call down fire on these people? And Jesus came out with a very beautiful, elegant statement. You don't know what manner of spirit I am.
An imprecatory psalm or an imprecatory prayer is a prayer that sounds like this, and God accurately puts it into his inspired scripture because that is genuinely how people felt. There's a lot of things in scripture that are accurately recorded and inspired by God that God does not endorse. He doesn't endorse rape, he doesn't endorse theft, he doesn't endorse lying, he doesn't endorse murder, and he doesn't endorse the taking of babies and smashing them against rocks. But it's all accurately recorded in scripture. Got the idea? So we have Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 18. This is what he says. Hear the anger. And we ask the question, how do you process anger? Well, Jeremiah's praying his anger. Let those be put to shame who persecute me, but let me not be put to shame. Let them be dismayed, but let me not be dismayed. Bring upon them the day of disaster. Destroy them with double destruction. Now, I don't know what double destruction is, but it's twice as bad as normal destruction. You're probably going, he's good. I'm going to write that down. Now, you get the idea. You don't need to know what it is. You get the picture here. Jeremiah is angry. And he's asking for God to do the whole lightning bolt thing. He's ticked. He's really angry. And it's in Scripture. Now, I know that there are some people who are going, aha, so I can pray like that. Awesome. Oh, I just happen to have a list. But just hang on a minute. I want you to see something here. Good people feel angry. Good people feel hurt. Good people get disappointed. Good people are slandered. And good people who love God, follow God, are often rejected.
Well, this is a prayer from Jeremiah to God. And there are going to be other prayers very similar to this throughout the Scriptures where we see God doesn't answer them.
God knows what we go through, and God can help. And God did help Jeremiah process this anger. He redirected his emotional energy. He got him back in the game. Notice this is Jeremiah 17, not Jeremiah 52. In other words, it wasn't the end. It's not even a third of the way through, and God is going to get Jeremiah through this. He's going to get him through this. And this is one of the things that I think we need to see from the New Testament. There's no imprecatory prayers in the New Testament. So this is what we do see in the New Testament, and they are prayers of trust. They are prayers of worship. Paul and Silas, loved the Sarah Grove song, Paul and Silas in jail at midnight. Were they praying, smite these Philippian jailers, curse Caesar, I'm sick of his prisons? No, it says at midnight they were worshipping. That's the Christian response. At midnight, what about the jailer who manhandled them and threw them in? What were they doing? How were they praying for him? Probably that he would come to know Christ. And he did. This is different. This is a different way to approach. This is the kind of stuff that makes Christians salt and light, because we process life differently.